Hi, this is Homay from Spitfire Audio, and in this video I want to highlight the Union Chapel organ, which comes in this GUI, so you can see there's all the different stops like you would find them on an organ. Then we also have it in our eDNA engine that allows you to play around with the parameters and be very creative with the sound itself. First I will play back the 1-minute music that I have here, and then I go through and touch on the different libraries I used with the organ, the structure from this short piece, and then also why I think that the organ is a really good tool to have within your arsenal. So quickly, structurally, it's just pretty much one long build trying to get really big in the second half of this piece. And the idea was to create a bed of different textures, especially string sounds, that I can have underneath an organ sound. So I have pretty much a structure and a bed there already for me to freely play with the organ on top of it. So I've used here some of my favorite string libraries simply because they have all different textures. They can be really soft and gentle. There is a lot of movement in a lot of these textures. To give you an example, we have Albion 5 here, which is played with no rosin. So this one's really delicate and gentle. And then we have the London Contemporary Orchestra here, one of my favorite sounds called Spectral Scrubs. Again, this one is really gentle, but also is a lot of movement within there, so there's nothing static and there's always something going on, which I like. And then Orchestra Swarm, which does that even more so in a different sense. We have a lot of shorts playing in a swarm, so therefore you can sort of prolong the sound that you're playing, kind of playing it as a long. Here we have a really nice whisper. And then I'm also using some Albion One sounds, but primarily in the bigger sections, partially because it has some of these really nice, big, rounded sounds in the lower range. There's this octave short that we have, it sounds really great. So it's got this really nice full-bodied sound. I also then used a Hans Zimmer piano combined with the Olafur Arnalds felt piano. But rather than using the felt piano sound itself, I wanted to use the reverb patch that we have within that library. So if I solo it out, you can play this with it. So that layered with the Hans Zimmer piano. So we've got this lovely soft tail at the end there. And then we have the amazing Eric Whitacre choir library that comes in our Evolutions GUI. So you can really hear those individual singers. And then I have some straight R's in here as well. So they naturally go really nicely with the organ. Talking about the Union Chapel organ itself, I used it in slightly different ways. So I've got a patch here to play the organ as you would. And you can pull all these stops over here to play around with the sound. If you, for example, wanted to use the higher range. Then I've used it also in the sense of a bass, because it's got this really nice low rumbling frequencies going on as well. Again, if you want to lose the higher frequencies to really just have the lows coming through. This sound would really help if I wanted to kind of double up the basses. Then I've also used it as an arpeggiator. And then also as a synth. So again, here we have our eDNA engine that allows you to play around with the ADSR, low pass, high pass filter. And this sound pretty much came as a preset, but I'm really fond of it. You can also, for example, try on the gate sequencer. Here I used it again as pretty much as a synthesizer. So I've got this really nice pulsating sound over here. That gives you a bit of movement in the lower range. So up here we have something that we call wobbles, which are pretty much act as filters. I've turned on the volume wobble, which allows me to create this sound. So if I were to turn that down. So you can decide on the input over here. And then here I've used it to help with the crescendo and then go into really nice big full-on chords with this patch called a big ass organ. This one's a lovely patch, really sounding massive and big. And I want to solo out the organ and the choir, which sounded really lovely together. So what I love about this library is that you don't have to play it in a conventional way. You have the expression and dynamic faders over here, so you can create this really nice crescendo, helping to give your piece this little boost. If you wanted to, you can play with it as if it was a synthesizer. You can play with it as if you needed to have some more bass. That really helps sometimes if you want to layer it maybe with some strings. You can play it as an arpeggiated sound. There's so many options. The eDNA engine allows you to really mold your sound and be creative with it. And I'm really liking the way it sits within the texture that has been created here through a combination of these different string sounds. Let's listen to this again with all of these elements in mind. Thank you very much for watching.